foundational argument written by James Madison to help encourage the ratification of the Constitution. To counter concerns over the growing national powers ordained by this Constitution, Madison discusses the policies put in place to guard against abuse of power, enabling his audience to form a more correct judgment of the principles of the government planned by the Convention.
Today, you'll see that these principles aren't just prevalent throughout the Constitution, but also in Dance Moms.
1, 2, 3.
The show is about to begin.
Alright ladies, it's time for this week's pyramid. On the bottom, Paige. You were good and waiting for you to be great. Next, Mackenzie. You didn't stick out to me. Next, Maddie. Now, Chloe. Third on the pyramid and third overall in our competition. Next, Kendall. And on the top, blowing me away this week, is Nia.
Even though I'm a little bit sad that Chloe didn't get the top of the pyramid, I'm really glad that Nia finally got the recognition she deserves. As you can see in Dance Moms, dividing power between the dancers is important to keep the balance. Similarly, throughout Federalist 51, Madison stresses the importance of reigning in government authority through separation of powers, which must come from internal forces to keep each other in their proper places.
As we know, government power is divided between the national and state governments. From there, the national government is divided into three branches: our executive, judicial, and legislative. Also from there, our legislative government is divided into a bicameral legislature, the Senate and House of Representatives. As Madison adds, that legislation authority necessarily predominates. This division of power is also seen in Dance Moms. Abby is the executive force of the company, the moms weigh their input in her choices, and the dancers carry out their responsibilities in the team.
Let's get something straight. The Abby Lee Dance Company has one president, and it's me. I rule this Abby Lee Dance Company.
Madison argues that the division of power is essential to the preservation of liberty. Creating a government that has the power to protect liberty without destroying it. Requirements within the division of power are:
1. Each department of the government must have the will of its own.
2. Members of each department should have as little to do in the appointment of other agencies as possible.
And 3. Members of each department should be as little dependent as possible on those of the others. Each branch has their own independent duties and power, just as Abby and the moms have different roles within the dance company.
Now back to the show.
Alright ladies, this week you will be performing a dance called Broken Dancers about the homeless in our community. And this week, our solo goes to Maddie. You will be dancing to a song called Angel.
I can't believe Abby is giving Maddie the solo this week.
I mean, Abby was clear about what the pyramid was when we first joined this company, and I'm not about to let her just sidestep it so Maddie can get whatever she wants.
I'm not going to just stand here and watch you give the solo to somebody on the bottom of the pyramid when Nia, who's at the top, obviously deserves to get the solo this week.
Alright, I know. I normally give the dance to the girl at the top of the pyramid, so this week it's actually going to be Nia. You will be performing to They Call Me Laquifa.
Madison places some of the greatest importance on giving each department the necessary constitutional means and personal motives to resist encroachment of the others, as ambition must be made to counteract ambition.
It is today as the President's ability to veto, Congress's ability of impeachment, and the Supreme Court's ability to overturn laws that are deemed unconstitutional. This serves as a double security for the rights of the people. Just as the moms are able to overturn Abby's decision, our government is able to protect against unjust laws in other branches.
Now back to the show.
Now listen to me carefully. I am the leader, I am your teacher, and you listen to what I say. Your moms can talk all they want about fixing your hair, fixing your costumes, and coming with you, but in the end, it's my job, and I'm the one in charge.
I think Abby needs a reminder that we're the ones who end up paying her bills. You know what, Abby? I have no problem taking my money over to Candy Apples.
Fine, but you guys are going to be paying for all the costumes if you want to be meddling and everything. In Dance Moms, Abby, Chrissy, and Kelly can't get their way without some sort of compromise. In Federalist 51, Madison closes with a similar principle as he highlights the dangers of factions. He states, "It is of great importance to not only guard the society against the oppression of its rulers, but to guard one part of society against the injustice of the other part."
Madison warns that when a faction begins to take power, the rights of the minority will be insecure. He states that the best defense is to build a vast republic with so many differing interests that the majority opinion becomes a blend of multiple factions and their opinions.
A multitude of factions makes it less likely for one to overtake the others. Just as the moms are forced to compromise with each other, conflicting factions leads to combined interests.
Madison knew that humans aren't angels. We all seek to preserve our own interests even when we know the government should work for the common good.
The best way to protect our liberties is to set our varying interests against each other to avoid tyranny and foster cooperation. This is further protected by our Constitution that emphasizes the separation of government power and emphasizing checks and balances for each branch.
What do you think? Can Federalist 51 describe the principles in Dance Moms as well?
Living on the dance floor.